first and most important thing you need to know about a New York traffic ticket is the fact that as soon as it's written, the clock starts ticking. If you fail to respond, or if your response does not reach the court in a timely fashion, you're at risk for getting your New York driving privileges suspended. If you get caught driving in New York on the suspended privilege, then you could be arrested and/or charged with aggravated unlicensed operation, which is a crime. If you take a look at the ticket itself, it gives you two options. One is to plead not guilty, and the second is to plead guilty. If your choice is to plead guilty, which in most cases we do not recommend, you can fill out the guilty portion and send it into the court. Once the court receives your guilty plea, the judge will assess a fine, mail you a fine notice, and submit a record of conviction to the Department of Motor Vehicles. Now, it's misleading in that the ticket allows you to write an explanation upon pleading guilty. However, once you've pled guilty, the judge has no choice but to find you guilty and submit a record of conviction to the Department of Motor Vehicles. The Department of Motor Vehicles will assess a number of points in accordance with the offense that you pled guilty to. So submitting an explanation of why you feel you're not guilty when in fact you pled guilty is not going to lead to a dismissal of the charges or removal of the points. Pleading guilty to a ticket or getting convicted for that matter at trial could have some severe consequences, including, but not limited to, points on your license, suspension of your driving privileges, and an increase in your auto insurance premium. The second option you'll see on the ticket is a plea of not guilty. If you want to choose that option, you can fill out the plea of not guilty portion of the ticket and mail it into the court. Once the court receives your plea, they will schedule a court appearance date. We have a separate video on handling a case in traffic court, but for purposes of this video, suffice it to say that in traffic court you may be given one or both of the following options. The first is to discuss a potential reduction of your charges with the prosecutor. Note, this option is not available in certain areas of the state like New York City and Rochester. And the second is to have a trial, a hearing, or your opportunity to question the officer and/or offer testimony to support your case. Once the case is resolved by either a plea or conviction, the judge's job is to assess the fine, mandatory New York State surcharge, and jail time if appropriate. Because of the severe consequences that may result, we highly recommend that you contact our office to discuss how an experienced traffic violations attorney may be able to assist. There may even be a good chance that you won't have to appear in court, depending on the charges and the jurisdiction.